Hello everyone. Well, Shadowlands is on the horizon, and soon BFA will be over. Right now, people are trying to make as much gold as they can before Shadowlands, whether that's trying to get the Brutal mount, a few tokens, or even just making a little gold before the expansion drops. To help out with that, I've got 5 handy tips to help you make gold in BFA before the launch of Shadowlands. I also have one extra tip at the end of the video, and it's based purely on my own speculation, so take it with a grain of salt. So first up is prismatic mana pearls. After the Eternal Palace, these really don't have much of a use outside of a mount, a pet, and a toy. You might have even forgot about these altogether. Well, I found that using them to buy the benthic leg tokens, and then vendoring the legs, ended up netting quite a lot more gold than just disenchanting them and selling them as. Obviously, this is going to be entirely dependent on your realm market, but on my realm, for example, veiled crystals only sell for 15 gold each, whereas the legs vendor for 77 gold. In my case, I ended up forgetting about the mana pearls altogether for quite a while and had nearly 2,500 saved up, and this made me about an extra 35,000 gold. That's quite a bit. Next, we have mount equipment. This was introduced in 8.2 and could see a good amount of use in Shadowlands due to the loss of flying. Right now, most of these are pretty cheap, but closer to Shadowlands, these should most likely go up. So either start crafting some, or grab some from the AH and start getting ready to flip. Thirdly is Legion crafted legendaries. After a post on Wowhead, it appears that legendaries from Legion aren't going to be working in Shadowlands. This means if you've got any left that you are waiting to sell, now's going to be the best time, because I highly doubt anyone's going to buy them once Shadowland hits and they've been disabled. It might also be worth dropping the price down a chunk if they're not selling, because what's going to be better? Making a bit of gold for the legendary you've made, or making absolutely nothing once it becomes useless? Next up, we've got Island Expeditions. So I'm not quite sure what Blizzard is planning on doing with these, but currently on the beta, they remain completely unchanged. Which means you still need a set group of 3 to do them, or you're going to have to sit in a queue waiting for a pug route. Queue times are probably going to be longer due to Shadowlands dropping, which could mean an even smaller supply of items. However, in times this can change. Blizzard might add a solo queue for islands, or they may even just outright remove them from the game and any way of getting into them, which could have a drastic impact on prices, whether for the better or for the worse. Lastly is the Mechagon spare parts farm. So, for those of you who don't know, the idea behind this is that you go to the junk mod depot in Mechagon with a group and you farm the mobs there. These mobs drop 3 main items as well as vendor trash. The items you're looking for are hardened spring, tempered plating, and machine gear assembly. Once you have several of these items, you can then combine them and hand them in for a box that will give you a few hundred spare parts. Those spare parts can then be used for either feasts for raids for those that are trying to get curve or just push progression before the pre-patch, or those who are trying to get their essences for the Champion of Azeroth title. But what you want to do is sell the springs, plating, and gears on the auction house, instead of combining them, and then net yourself quite a bit of profit. So that's it for my 5 tips. However, I did mention a 6th tip that's going to be purely based on my own personal speculation, so again, take it with a grain of salt. So, where are we heading to in the pre-patch? What place did we see in the Shadowlands trailer? Our old familiar friend, Icecrown Citadel. While this hasn't seen much use yet, I have a feeling it's going to crop up a few times during the expansion, and while Blizzard could always add a new portal or teleport to get there, currently, what is one of the fastest ways to get there? Our other old friend, Dalaran. Now, unless you're a mage, the quickest way to get there is either going to be going to your capital city and taking the portals there, or using the Argent Tournament Tabard, if you have that. But there is a third option, another way to get there. Jainas locket. This item can be obtained through doing the Shadowmoon questline and killing Arthas. And while the price for it right now is pretty cheap, I have a feeling it could go up, whether that's in the pre-patch or once the expansion launches, so just keep an eye out for that. So, that's everything. I hope these tips help you out and net you some extra gold. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.